And in a live situation, I always try and do maybe one or two jazz standard sort of things. And it is interesting doing other people's songs as well, because you get an insight into another person's world and another person's mind, you know, because you haven't written that song. You've got to sort of wheedle your way in to the way they thought, and you've got to experiment with the way you sing it and make that song sound like your song. So it is interesting in that respect, but I think it'll probably be a good few years before I do an album like that, if I do.
For I'm so completely yours.
It is interesting working with different people, and it opens your mind up, you know, to working in a different way, and you hear how they do something and makes you think about how you're doing it. And I think I would like to work with other people. There's always time to work with other people, and it's exciting. I mean, two people that I really would love to work with, to sing with, I think, are Mary J. Blige. I'd love to sing with her. And D'Angelo, I'd love to work with D'Angelo, because I think that'd be really interesting. I mean, people who aren't around anymore. I mean, Count Basie's band would have been amazing. Can you imagine, you know, just getting up, and that would be a fright. That would be a shock to the system. And Billie Holiday. I think I'd be too frightened to get up and sing with Billie Holiday. But what an amazing feeling that would be. I think I'd rather go out on the town with Billie Holiday. I can remember a concert that I did with Ian Devaney and Andy Morris. And at that time, I mean, this is a really long time ago, and it's when we first formed a band, and before we were ever called Blue Zone, for some fans who think they know everything, you know, and we weren't called Blue Zone at the very beginning, we were called Eddie Bop. And we played a concert at the Rochdale Football Club, and we didn't think anyone was going to turn up. We got photocopies done of posters, and we got a little band together. Well, it was quite a big band, really. We were always very ambitious. And we got a band together. We put posters up everywhere in town, and I think about 300 people turned up, and we thought about 5 people were going to turn up, and it was an amazing success. And I remember I looked terrible because I had a curly perm. I had a perm the week before and it went wrong. And it was like this big afro mess. My first real gig as Lisa Stansfield was the Royal Court in Liverpool. It was really like, you know, I mean, there were so many people turning up to this gig, and you know, you've suddenly, you know, gone from nobody knowing who you are to everybody in the country knowing who you are, and playing a gig to like what I think it was like 4,000 people or something, maybe a bit less than that. And you know, we were really excited. It was such an exciting time, and it was the sort of time when you don't sort of really care that much because you've never done it before, but there's part of you that really cares, you know. So it's like, oh, I just want, this might never happen again, so I'm just going to go up there and I'm going to have a really good time. It's brilliant. I don't play any musical instruments. I'm shocking, terrible. I once tried to play the saxophone, and that lasted about 2 weeks. And I will sit down at the piano. There's something nice about sitting down at a piano and writing, and you can come up with nice melodies on the piano, just like tinkering around. But no, there's no way that I could ever stand on a stage and play an instrument, and that would be just so embarrassing. It was a funny thing with the film of Ronnie Scotts, because we never even thought of doing it at first. But by the Tuesday, we'd done the Monday, and the Tuesday was so exciting. And just that feeling of intimacy that, and it was a very, very exclusive thing that not many people saw that. And we thought, well, we might never do this again. And we want to remember it. And there are people who maybe wanted to get tickets that couldn't see it. And we decided that we'd film it. And it was just so jam-packed on that Thursday night. I mean, literally, I think the club holds about 500, and there were way more people in there. So how those people filmed the event, I do not know. I mean, it was amazing what they did. And you get a real feeling of that week there. And for me, when I get to like 60 or 70, touch wood, I'd like to sit down and watch it. I suppose a really personal song for me has got to be All Around the World. I mean, All Around the World is like a person to me now, and it's like an old friend that, you're always together, and sometimes you get on each other's nerves a bit. And then other times you really, really get on like a house on fire, and you love each other very much. I've done things in my life that I would never, ever have dreamed about if it hadn't have been for that song. And really, I have to say that I'm very, very proud of that song, because I wrote it, and it's part of me. And you've got to be proud of that. You've got to be proud of that part of you has had that effect on people, that has had that effect on so many people all around the world. Well, it's two for me, really. 2 times. The great jazz era with the Cotton Club, to be around them would have been absolutely amazing, with all those musicians. And the other one for me is really like the height of Studio 54. Like Andy Warhol, Bianca Jagger, all those people just milling around, and just to have got on the stage in Studio 54 and seen and witnessed all that would have been quite amazing.